This question right here. I'm gonna let this man play this real quick. I'm gonna play this.
Gets half. The other third wife gets.
Hold on. Let's go to this man.
Should they go Dutch?
All right. Let's get the question.
Date.
On a date.
Another challenge. Who pays for that first date? The man and the woman are interested. Like, the man and the woman are interested in each other. Yeah. They go on a date. Like in New York, it's expensive here. Who's supposed, in your eyes, or based on your knowledge, what do you think makes more sense? Yeah. The man or the woman should pay, or should they go Dutch? Because as a man, I tell you, if you suggest to go Dutch.
So I'm gonna answer his question. Here's my thing about that. Men who complain about gender roles, such as saying that the man is supposed to be the head and the woman is supposed to be the tail, and the woman is supposed to be feminine and submissive, and the man's supposed to be masculine and he's supposed to be dominant. If at any time you are questioning who's supposed to pay for the date, then therefore you have switched gender roles. Do you understand me? Do you understand how you just completely contradict yourself? Because you as the leader, right? You're supposed to assert and show dominance, right? So your dominance is to be able to take care and provide. When you are paying on that first date, you are showing that you as the leader have the ability to provide provision, right? Because that's what the male masculinity does. He's a provider, right? A protector, so forth and so on. So when these questions are being asked, should the man pay for the first date? That is a crazy contradiction to the idea that you are the head. Why would that even be a question to ask? You are the dominant. So if you went and y'all are both attracted to each other and y'all went out, because who's going to just take any random person out on a date? Nobody. You're only taking out the person on a date who you're attracted to. So when you go on this date, Mr. Head, the masculine man, you should pay for the date because it is you who is the provider. It is you who's the dominant. It is you. This is why you're paying for the date. It is what? To show that you are a provider in your masculine role. Bam. End of discussion, guys. I don't know how these same men say, I need me a feminine woman and I need a woman that's feminine and she's a follower. And okay, fine. And then you got women, I need me a leader and he can, and he's masculine. Okay, fine. Well, since we understand these are the roles of the people that we want in our lives, how can we ask the question, who's paying for the date? Should not the head pay for it? Should not the leader, the provider pay for it? That is your role as the man, isn't it? You say you wanted to be masculine. You say you wanted to be dominant. So show your dominance, right? Pay for your date because you're the provider. In life, as the husband, you're going to be providing, right? Whether she has a job or not, y'all both gonna come together and y'all gonna provide and she's gonna be in her feminine spirit, your masculine spirit, however y'all decide to do that, and tag team. And in the end, you're going to be the head. So as the head, this question should not even come up anymore because it is your job as the head to provide. Am I right? Right? Because the head, the brain is in the head and it provides all the you know what I mean? And it tells the heart and the rest of the body of what it's supposed to be doing, right? So you, as the man, as the head, should you not be providing the rest of the body, the woman, the spouse, or whoever you're with, what it needs, the provisions, and showing them what you can do? Isn't that, am I making sense? So that's why I don't even understand this question anymore. Don't contradict yourself with this question. Because every time a man comes to, if I ever pay for a date, you showed me you're not the head. That's why as a woman, I don't pay. Because you being the leader, you're showing me you can provide. If you can't pay for, I ain't nobody telling you to take them to, I don't know, Roof Chris or wherever y'all want to go. I don't know any fancy restaurants for real. I'm going to be honest. I've been on dates, but it never had to be anything expensive. I've been to Poco de Chao, however you said that, and it was a decent restaurant. And I didn't need that. It didn't matter if we went there to Five Guys. If you can't pay for a Five Guy hot dog or a meal at at Red Lobster or something, or you even complain remotely, then you shouldn't be taking anybody out on a date. You don't have the providing part of the relationship that it's needed, because in a relationship, in any relationship, you need to show that you can provide, right? Because that's the whole point of going out on dates. Everybody keep dating to have sex. Y'all ain't bored of that? Lifelong partners should be what everybody is. It should be everybody's goal. I don't understand everybody's goal. Sorry, not gold. Everybody's goal. I don't understand why everybody's looking for sex. It's so that's becoming. We're getting older. Look for lifelong partners. And in that lifelong partners, for me, in that search, I want a provider. Not that I can't provide my own provisions. I make decent money to provide for myself. That's why while I'm providing for myself, I also work on other aspects within myself, right? Self-control, attitude adjustment. Yes, these are things that as a woman, I have to, being too emotional about every situation, I have to work on these things. These are things because as a woman, I'm very emotional and my emotions are not always in check. Because as a woman, so I have to get myself in line, get myself in check spiritually and mentally, right? I have to read my Bible, I have to pray. These are things that I work on as a woman in search of a husband. So you have to understand, I want just one man. You gotta understand, I don't want several men, just one man. And I don't mind my man being the head as long as he understands the role of the head, right? I don't want a man who says I'm the head, but then complain, and I'm the leader, I'm the dominant one, but then complains about a couple of dollars that he has to spend on a first date. Well, baby, that already just nicks you out of my category. I don't want a man who complains about, taking me out on a date. Or whether or not he's paying or I'm paying. That's stupid. You're the provider. You know what I mean? If you don't have it, then you're already showing that there's a problem with your leadership roles, because you have to be a provider in order to be the man, the masculine. I don't want to exert your authority. I don't mind my man being the head. So I don't want to take your role. I don't mind your masculine spirit. I don't mind that. I have no issue with that, right? So I don't want your role. So that means that you have to do your role so that I don't have to take that on. Because if I have to take on your role as in the masculinity and being of course I'm going to provide. I'm going to do my part as a woman. Yes, if I work and you don't mind me working, I also clean, cook, and do so forth and so on. I'm nurturing and affectionate. I'm there for you, whatever, back rub, feet, all that good stuff. But I'm also a provider in the sense that, yeah, I do work, and we come together and we figure out how we're going to do bills and so forth and so on. But at the same time, I don't mind you being ahead, as long as you're not sitting around saying, well, who's going to pay for the first date? That shouldn't, you the man. You pay for the first date.
In the U.S., it seems like it's viewed very negatively.
Well, again, every place has their traditions.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I say it's not about you're right, you're wrong. Yeah. That's not what it's about. I just look at, are you understanding the layers of what you're dealing with, right? So in the U.S., money is power.
Yes.
And in most of the world, power is associated with masculinity.
Yes.
Even though power can go either way, and it's feminine power. And it's not just sexual power.
Yes.
Because most places want to show, and I think generally most men want to be able to say, look, I can carry some stuff and you can trust, and this is, you want to establish some things off the bat.
Yeah.
Generally, I think the norm is going to be here, the men pay first.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the first date. Second date.
Listen, if a man says, listen, I'm going to pay for our first date, I'm really into you, da-da-da. And if he initiate the second date and he says, well, I feel like communication is key. That's all I feel like. Be upfront. What do you want? Stop dating just for sex and date for meaning, right? Date with the purpose of finding a partner, right? Somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So if the man communicates to me, so let's say I'm on a date with a man and he says, all right, I'm going to pay for this first date because yes, I do believe in being ahead, da-da-da. And stop just doing stuff to get in people's pants. Lord, can we do stuff with a purpose? Let's go back to old school and actually want family structure in our community. Lord, please. Any race of man who believes in family is what I'm looking for, except for white. No disrespect. But anyway, So, you know, what I'm trying to say is, if you come into the relationship or come on a date saying, listen, I'll pay for the first date, because I am a provider, and I'm looking for more than, you know, a one night stand, and I'm looking for a relationship. This is for all the men who looking for relationships, and you're open and you're honest and you're saying, listen, I'm not being pushy. I'm just saying I'm here dating with a purpose, right? I'm dating with a purpose. Let me know your purpose. If it's, you know, you find a woman attractive, you get to know, put your resume out there. If she's not looking for the same thing you're looking for, and you date her for a couple of weeks and you realize she's not, you know, nixed or cut off, let her know why. Say, listen, you're not the woman I'm looking for because A, B, C, D. It's nothing wrong with that. Stop ghosting people. Be honest. So that they can work on what they need to fix, so that they can know what's wrong, so that they can learn from it and move on and find the partner that they need. That's why I don't believe in ghosting. Tell that person where they went wrong in on y'all date, so that they can work on it. That's why I don't believe in ghosting. That could be a different video. But anyway, if you're a man and you're going on a date and you pay for that first date, and you let the woman know, listen, I'm paying for this first date because I want you to understand I'm doing this with a purpose, and purpose is I'm trying to find a partner, right? A partner for the long haul, right? Because we're getting older, so forth and so on. And so I want to let you know that I am a provider. I don't mind whatever you order, da 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 da. Now, don't take advantage of these men. Like, this is silliness, but you have discernment, men, when you're looking for a spouse, right? Figure out with this female. Maybe the first date, you shouldn't take her out. Let her know, listen, it's not that I don't got the money, but I want to get to know you before we go out on a date. So spend the first couple of hours walking around and speaking to this woman before you take out to get something to eat. Getting something to eat, I feel like, when you dating, should be after you've walked around getting to know this woman for several hours. And once you get to know her, then you throw in, you want to get something to eat? If you're really into the date. If you're not into the date, then you nix it. After the conversation is over and you feel like, okay, you don't vibe well with her, or whatever it is that's a turn off to you, whatever, you can say, all right, well, nice to meet you. I'm glad we had this night out, and you could be done with it. Same thing, vice versa. Females, you could do the same thing, right? And you could nix the date, get it right in half. But if you're a man and you're with a woman and you walk around and sightsee for a couple of hours or whatnot or whatever, and then you feel like your chemistry is really good, and you take that woman on a date. You take her on a date, and then you get to know her. And then if you feel like the chemistry is good and it's going well, at the end of the night or end of the afternoon or whatever time you go, you can take her out to eat. And that's when you pay. And that's when you open up and say, listen, I'm looking for a partner, da-da-da. Let her know what you're looking for and seeing if she meets the criteria or whatever. And you pay for that date. By the second date, you can say to her, listen, I also want to see what you bring to the table. So if, in fact, we go on our second date, or I want to go on a second date with you, can you pick up that tab? Let her know. Be honest. Be upfront. Can you pick up that tab? I want to know, can you pick up the tab? You pick up the tab this time, I'll catch what you doing. A lot of time I'll pick up the tip, right? And so now you can see if she has no problem with picking up the tab and paying for whatever meal that you guys go out on. Now you understand that y'all can work together. You get me? If that makes sense. So now y'all know financially, okay, so we got this. And you continue your dates on after that. If you find that you and that person get along and share some of the same values and so forth and so on. I'm just saying, for all y'all out there dating with a purpose, this is a good way to do it. I'm telling you, before you go out and take a woman out on a date, do not do that initially. So when you ask that woman out on a date, do not tell her you taking her to a restaurant. Don't nothing. Get to know her before you take her out, which means that it should start off as an afternoon or a day date. And if you got the time, and it works its way into a meal. Even if you going out in the afternoon, let's say you off work, you tell her, okay, meet me Thursday at 4:00. You walk around with that woman. I don't care where it is. Walk around the mall, walk around the park, somewhere. Take her somewhere you can walk around and get to know her for a couple of hours before you decide to go pay for a meal. And this will keep y'all from spending unnecessary amount of money on women that y'all don't know that y'all like. Period. That's how you do it. Right? I'm just giving y'all a gem. This is what we should start doing on women. Same thing. If a man like you and you notice don't get mad if he's walking around with you, right? Because I said he should walk around with you at first. Don't get mad if he he ain't. No, don't underestimate nobody. Let him walk around with you. If at the end of the night he takes you out on a date, it should be a sign to you that he's interested. Not saying you go keep your legs closed, do not have sex with this man even if he take you out to eat. So go out with him, figure him out. Understand, find out what he truly wants. If he's the type of man who want a relationship or a one night stand, know these things off the back, right? By getting to know him. If he offers to pay and he does pay for that meal, offer your tip. Make sure that you as a woman, especially since there's a lot of y'all independent women out there, tip. Do the tip. There's nothing wrong. If he's paying for the meal, give the tip. If he says no, he got it, then respect what his wishes was. Right? And if he say he got it, respect his wishes and say, all right, fine. If he wants you to pay the second night because he want to see where you come from, be ready to do so. You understand me? Because it's not really about paying, y'all. It's about showing what you're willing to do in a relationship, showing the side of you that can compromise, showing you the side of you that can work together. This was the initial courting that we did to understand and get to know each other when it comes to dating, if that makes sense. So that's the end. That's all I wanted to say. That's giving people some gems out here in these streets. This is what I want to do when I date. That's all I'm saying. Date with a purpose.
You know what I mean?
And actually, for me,
So if the man asks the second date, then he pays again.
Yeah.
If she says, hey, I really want to get ice cream and there's a truck now, she might pay for the ice cream cones.
Yeah.
Right? Or it might be.
I just feel like,
okay.
again, I gave a scenario. I feel like the way I just said is the best way. If you're a man that is concerned about spending money, there's nothing wrong with you being frugal. There's nothing wrong with a man saying, no, I prioritize my money such and such way. But don't just be some cheap broke man and just can't afford it and then using it as an excuse to have somebody pay your meals and stuff. If you cannot honestly provide and honestly take care of a family, then this ain't for you. But these are for men who can take care of a family. I'm not talking about just 6-figure men. A man who makes $30,000 to $40,000 a year can be in a relationship. You know what I mean? You understand what I mean? Especially if you have goals, right? And so if you go out on a date and you're a man who's looking for a long-term relationship, the best way to not get taken advantage of in that is to wait before taking that woman out to eat. Get to know that woman's personality first. Get to know her first, and then if you feel like your chemistry is good, you take her out on a date. And the reason why I spoke to men, because you are the head. You are the one who is to initiate the date. If the woman is not into you, take it as a loss. That's her loss. Who cares? You know what I mean? Go on. There's going to be a woman out there for you. Don't worry about the woman that rejected you. There's a woman that's going to say yes. That's how I feel like y'all men got to get your confidence back up. Stop worrying about the no's. Because even with jobs, you're going to get a bunch of no's, but then you're going to finally get that one yes that's going to set you. Don't worry about rejection. Worry about getting that one yes to the right person, right? So have discernment when choosing your partner, right? Whether she has kids, no kids, make sure that the personality meshes with yours, period. Make sure you like that person as a person, right? That's it. That's my advice. This is to all the men that's dating, all the women that's dating with a purpose. Okay, with a purpose. All right, I'm out.